Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the some more questions of June 2016 and this is of set C and of general aptitude section part A of set C. So this one is the question number 6 of set C. Here is a graph of percentage change over previous year to the year. So here 2014 and 2015 are compared and the percentage change over previous year is given in the y-axis. So the three different subjects physics, chemistry and biology and the percentage change of the past student has been varied in this graph which is shown in the particular bar graph. So here, which of the following inferences can be drawn from the above graph? So 4 points are given. So I have to read it here. That first point is the total number of students qualifying in physics in 2015 and 2014 is the same. The number of students qualifying in biology in 2015 is less than that in 2013. The number of chemistry students qualifying in 2015 must be more than the number of students who qualified in biology in 2014. And the last one is the number of students qualifying in physics in 2015 is equal to the number of students in biology that qualified in 2014. So now see the solution. Here graph representing percentage change over previous year to the year 2014 and 15 over the x-axis. This is in the graph. So in such type of question you have to interpret all the different points given in the option. So taking the option number 1 and interpreting it, the total number of students qualifying in physics in 2015 and 2014 is the same. So here is the percentage change over the previous year. Let's take 100% students qualifying in physics in the year 2013. This is our suppose, or let it that in 2013 100% students qualify. Now it is given that 2000 in 2014 10% means 10 means plus 10 means 10% more qualify students. So over the last year, so 10% of 100 is 10. Now in 2014 how many students are qualifying? Plus 10 over the last year, so you have to add it 100 plus 10. So now you get 110 students qualifying in 2014. Now 10% more qualify in 2015 for physics, 10% of 110. Now the previous year for 2015 is 2014. So here the number of student is 110 and 10% of that, on simplifying we get 10 by 100 into 110 equals to 11 students. So now in 2015 110 plus 11 equals to 121 students qualifying in physics. So it is given that in option students qualifying in physics in 2015 and 2014 is the same. No, if we suppose 100% students qualifying in, yeah, 100 students qualifying in the year 2013, then how the graph work? There are 110 in 2014 and 121 in 2015. So these two are not same. These are different. So this statement is wrong. So first one is wrong. Now third option is the number of chemistry students qualifying in 2015 must be more than number of students who qualify in biology in 2014. Here we now we again suppose that let number of biology students be 100 in 2013. Students qualified in biology in 2014 is minus 10. So minus 10% of 100 equals to, so 10% of 100 equals to 10. So on subtracting 10 from the total 100 to 2013 students, so we get 90 students. So in 2040 90 students are passed. Similarly number of chemistry students be 100 in 2030. So in 2014 in graph it is written that plus 5. So plus 5% of 100 equals to 5, which, so over adding 100 we get 105. Now in 2015 8% of 105. For the 2015 the previous year is 2014. So in 2014 there are qualified student is 105, then 8% taking 8% of 105 you get 8.4, and on adding, so total number of students in 2015 is 105 plus 8.4, which is equals to 113.4 students. So for this option the statement is correct, but here we suppose why this statement we have not taken in inferences, because Here we suppose both these students, chemistry and biology student in 2013, same means 100, and this is not given here. We have to suppose these values. So students equals to 100, this is illogical. Maybe there is number of different students, means chemistry having 80, biology having 70, or it may be 90 or something else. So this is illogically we have taken the values, and this is not possible for interpreting any statement. We have not suppose all the data, means for chemistry and for biology we suppose both the things. So this statement is wrong. Now similarly in option number 4 there is comparison between physics and biology student. So in 2015 121 students qualifying in physics. See in the above solution that in 2015 how many physics students are qualifying. This is of 121. And 2040 90 students qualifying in biology we have solved from option 3. So this statement is also correct, but we not take, because here is also comparison of two different subject, means physics and biology, and the same thing that we both, for both we have to sustain the 2013 data is same. So this is also illogical. We cannot consider both the things same, or we cannot for comparing any statement we does not suppose all the data. So this is not suited statement or fitted statement. Now the last one is, here I am interpreting all the options, but in option 3 and 4 there is comparison between two different subjects. So for this we have suppose the number of students for the year 2013, and which is equals to 100, so which is not correct. So discard the option number 3 and 4. Option 2 is number of students qualifying in biology in 2015 is less than that in 2013. This is a comparison between the two different year for the same subject. So if we consider in 2013 100 student we suppose it, then in 2014 100 minus 10% of 100 minus 10 is there in the graph. So 90 students are passed in 2014. Similarly in 2015 90 plus 10% of 90, so you get 90 plus 9, 10% of 90 equals to 9. So you get 99 students. So it is given that number of qualifying students in biology in 2015 is less than that in 2013. Yes, this is correct. In 2015, 99 student passed, but we have suppose 100 student in 2013. Then we get the lower value in 2015. So this one is a comparison between the two different year for the same subject. So this is the logical, or inference can be drawn from the option. So this is given in option number 2, which is correct answer for this question. Now this is the question number 11. Which of the following statement is logically incorrect? Here are the four statement given. Now see the solution. Logically incorrect. First option is I always speak the truth. This is correct. Yeah, yes, maybe the person is there who speaks all the truth things. So this one is possible. Second is I occasionally lie. Yeah, this one is also correct, that someone is occasionally lie. And third one is I occasionally speak the truth. This is also correct. Someone is joking or just talking lie. Sometimes he speak the truth. But the fourth one is I always lie. This is not possible practically. That if somebody is always speaking lie, so this one is the incorrect or inappropriate statement. So illogically not possible. So this one is the correct option for this question. So this is question number 13. Find the next figure D. So here A, B, C, D, D we have to find. This is not in the option. Actually, I have to draw it here. That in A option and B option. Now see the solution. The four options are given like this. So which one is correct? So the next figure D for this is, for such type of questions your mental ability is checked. So you have to consider or pairing it. For A and B, we have to consider in the middle there is a square, and above the square and below the square there is a triangle. Then from one side there is also a square. So how it is moving and how the inside figure are working, from by seeing this their rotation you can find the next figure. So see the rotation of the particular figure inside the that triangle. So in the A and B there is a circle. In the above triangle and lower triangle there is a square. Similarly, in the figure C, there is in the above triangle there is a square and the lower one is the circle. So first you have to check that where is the square and then the lower circle, and then how the above and shaded squares are moving on the triangle one base. So from that you have to judge it, and the base suited statement for there is AB is in pair, similarly C and D is also in pair. So for D you have to draw how it is moving, and then you have to match it that. So second option is correct for this question. So the D figure is of second option, and this one is the correct answer for this question. Now the next question is question number 15. A solid contains a spherical cavity. The cavity is filled with a liquid and includes a spherical bubble of gas. The radii of cavity and gas bubbles are 2 mm and 1 mm respectively. What proportion of the cavity is filled with liquid? So you have to find the proportion, or you can say the ratio. So see the solution. Volume of the cavity is spherical. Radius given is 2 mm. So volume of the spherical cavity, you know that what is the formula for the spherical volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube. Here radius is given 2 mm. So the 2 mm whole cube, you on simplifying you get 8 mm cube. And similarly for volume of the gas bubble, it is also a sphere. So 4 by 3 pi 1 mm whole cube. On simplifying you get 4 by 3 pi 1 mm cube. Now the cavity filled with liquid is equals to cavity filled with liquid minus cavity filled with gas. So the cavity's volume is 4 by 3 pi 8 mm cube minus the cavity's volume of the gas cavity is 4 by 3 pi 1 mm cube. So on simplifying you get 4 by 3 pi 7 mm cube. Now proportion of cavity filled with liquid is, so the proportion is cavity filled with liquid over the cavity of the liquid. So 4 by 3 pi 7 mm cube by 4 by 3 pi 8 mm cube. On simplifying you will get the 7 by 8 proportion, which is given in option number 4. So this one is the correct answer for this question. So this is all about the present video. Thank you very much. Keep watching and please see the description link for the PDF of the solution. Thank you very much.